Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about proc means procedure in SAS programming. Proc means procedure mainly used to calculate descriptive statistics. That means describing or summarizing your data in a meaningful and useful way. And descriptive statistics are, for example, means, median, counts, sum, and numbers, and many more statistics can be performed using proc means. It also used to calculate several other matrices, for example, percentile, quartiles, standard deviation, variance, and sample t-test. So here are the list of uses of proc means: for analyzing numeric or continuous variables. For analyzing numeric variables by group, you can basically categorize and you can identify the outliers, and hypothesis testing with sample t-test. So for example, here I'm running a proc mean procedure, and you can see the result, and then I can explain you. So this is when you run this program without specifying any other information. Only you are writing here the data set name, and it will do the proc mean procedure for all the variables. So all the numeric variables, not the character variables. So these are the numeric variables, and these are the statistics performed for these variables. So by default, these five statistics are basically performed: number, means, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum. So this is by default. These five statistics are by default. And if you are not specifying var statement, then it will select all the numeric variables. So this is another example from Sas help.class. So when I run this program, you will see the descriptive statistics of all the variables in that data sets, and default statistics of these variables. So this can be performed. So you can limit these output based on your need. So by default, as I told you, these are the statistics by default, and but there are several other statistics that you can also perform using proc means. For example, if you are looking for the number of missing observation, if you are looking for the minimum or maximum values, if you are interested in calculating medians, and if you want to calculate different percentile or quartiles, that can be easily done in proc means procedure. So for moving ahead with this procedure, I'm going to again start with the same program, proc means procedure, without specifying anything. So you can see that this is how your output will look like. So suppose if I'm interested in only one variable, not all of them, so you have to use var statement. So for example, here I'm using var and specifying age. So I wanted to look, proc means for all the standard statistics for the age variable only. So it will not give you the other variables. So you can see that the analysis variable is age, and you can see all these five statistics for the age variable. And if you want to look for another variable, you can more than one. So I'm using height as well. So you can see that how your output is going to be changed here. So this is how the variable name is coming here, and this is how the standard statistics values are actually is coming. So this is how you can limit your variables. So if you are specifying only one variables, it will appear here, but if you are specifying more than one variables, it will create a separate column for the variables. So this is how you can limit the variables, and you can limit the descriptive statistics as well. For example, if you are not interested in these descriptive statistics, if you want to look something different, so for example, here I am interested in looking for n and number of missing and median. So this will change the statistics values. For example, when I will run this program, you can see that this is only for the age variable, and these three statistics will now appear. So this is how you can basically change your descriptive statistics based on your need. And this is how you can handle your output. And suppose I'm interested in grouping my data set in a different way. So suppose this is I'm wanted by default statistic I wanted to look, and when I will run this program, you will see a default statistics will appear for variables age. And suppose I want to further group my output based on gender, based on sex, then I have to use class statement. So class statement basically further group your data, and so here I'm specifying sex variables in my class statement, and you can run I'm running both the programs, so it will be easy to understand that what is the difference when you are using class statement. So now program is running, so it will take a while, and it will be very easy to understand when the output will appear. So you can see, so this is without specifying class statement. So when you are not specifying class statement, so this is all together all the analysis of the whole data set. But here I specified class statement as a sex, so it further group the data based on the sex. So male has 10 observation, and the statistics is performed in 10 records, and here the sex is female, and 9 observations are in this records, and the statistics are basically performed based on these 9 observations. So you can basically categorize and classify your data, and you can basically use multiple class statements. If you have further classification, suppose this is sex, based on the class or any other variables are present, you can use multiple class variables. So for example, I'm using Sas help cars data set, and these are the variables I'm interested to look, and these are the statistics I wanted to explore. And here I wanted to categorize my data first with type and then by make. So when I will run this program, you can see that the output will classified under two different category. First is based on type, and the second is based on make. So you can see, so type is here hybrid, SUV, and sedan. So there are different types, and each type has categorized into different make. So for hybrid is further categorized into Honda and Toyota, and likewise SUV, and you can see number of observations, and these are the variables I'm interested. And you can see that how the data is coming, and your report is actually tables is changed based on your class statement. So this is the first class statements, and this is the second class of the statement. So how this table is changed when you are using two different variables in your class statement. So now I just wanted to show you that how you can remove certain basically um, column from your table. For example, n observation, number of observations. So this is by default, it will come through the program when you run proc means procedure. So if you want to remove this one, you have to use no knobs observation here. So that can remove and delete the number of observations column through the proc means. So I am using this one, and you can see that that column will disappear. And this is how you can change your table, and you can modify your table for better look and for like limited information what is actually needed, so based on your need. So you can see that number of n orbs column is removed from this table. So that is what is the use of no knobs option here. And this is another program you can basically display in a particular order. So if you have a data set and you wanted to create a descriptive statistics for that data set, and you want your data set in a particular order. For example, here I'm using order option here, and wanted to order or sort my data based on the frequency. Like if higher frequency, it will appear first, and lower frequency will appear next to that one. Then you have to use slash, and you have to write order, and equal sign, and you have to write freq. So you can see that this data set, you'll change that table in that specific order based on the frequency of make variable. So you can see that this Toyota has 28, and this is Chevrolet is 27. So based on the frequency, the data is organized in the table. And if you are interested in just descending based order of the make, you are not specifying this frequency, then still you have to use the slash option, and you have to write descending. In this case, your data will simply organized in a descending order of the make variable. So this is how you can control your table, and you can arrange your data based on make, descending order. You can see that. So this make is arranged in a descending order. So further, in proc means you can subset your data using a where statement. So here I'm not interested in all the records. I'm interested in only make either by BMW or Audi. So you can write a where statement. So here you can create a subset of that data set, and a proc procedure using this procedure using and create a descriptive statistics only for that limited data. So this is subsetting your data and how this proc means appear, and these are the basically statistics I wanted to know, and these are the number of observation, these are the variables, and labels will also appear if any labels is associated with that. So next step is creating an output data set for the descriptive statistics. So this is an example of the regular, proc min program. So when you run this program, these three statistics will be, appear in your table. So let's run this program, and I will show you. This is the, table will come when this program. And suppose if you need, statistics, descriptive statistics in a separate data set, then you have to write an output statement here. So in output statement, basically you have to provide the name of the data set here. So the name of the data set will be the new car. So all the descriptive statistics will save in this data set. And if you are not providing any specified statistics here, it will create the standard statistics as described earlier, like numbers, means, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. So let's run this program, and it will be much better to understand it. So the program is running, and you can see that. So an output data set will be generated here, out of this program. So you can see a new out data set will be created, and here the standard statistics like number, mean, max, mean, standard deviations is comes, in this data set. And these is came because we actually added this output statement here. And other than that, you can see there is a result section. There is a another tables is appearing with the specified statistics here, number, means, standard deviation. So if you don't want to print, this result, you can simply mention here like no print. So it will not print, and again, but it will still generate, the descriptive statistics in new data set. And suppose if you don't want to generate the standard statistics, you have some specific one. Suppose you are interested in generating numbers, so you can give either same name, or you can specify as a new name. So I'm creating two statistics here, mean, and I just wanted to give a mean as a new name is in mean 1, and here number as a n. So when you run this program, so there will no print, because we are using no print option here, and you can see no print has happened. And here you will see only two statistics is actually comes, so n and mean 1. So you can give name, either same, or you can different based on your requirement. And you can notice, so there are some automatic variables is also coming here. So underscore type underscore and freak underscore freak underscore. So if type 1 is 0, it's like the combine of these two. You can see this is the from the class statements. So I will explain you later in little details about that. But suppose here is another options. For example, if you don't want to use the specified name what you wanted to give, so you can also give or use the options like auto labels or auto name. So that case, these options will basically use the name whatever is in the data set, in the previous data set. So when you run this program, you can see that it will pick the name of the previous data set, and you don't have to specify the specific name for all the statistics. So here you can see this is the MSRP means and this is the MPGCT means. So in that way it will be auto name will be generated and adding the mean here. So this is how it works. You can also use auto label as well, as I told you, and I'm not printing one, so the print is not coming. So this is very important to understand. And other thing, as I told you, so if these two variables, automatic variables, if value is 0, that means identifying the overall analysis. But if variable is more than 0, like 1 or 2, so it's identify the classification level. And when you are using, options here, suppose I run this program here, and I'm using an option here, n way. So it will pick only the highest classification where the type underscore is the highest one. So here previously we had 2, 0 and 1, but here only the highest one, 1 will appear. So this is very important to understand how you can create a new data set, for the descriptive statistics. So next important thing I wanted to explain you about grouping and output in a separate table. So if you want a separate table for your data set based on your by statement or based on your class, so you have to use by statement. So by statement do the same work as it is performed using the class statement, but only difference that it will create separate table based on the variables you are providing in by statement. And you need to sort your data if you want to use by statement. So for example, here I'm sorting my data, this sas help.cars, based on make variable and creating a new data set here. So just run this program and you will see a new data set will be created based on the by variable. And this by variables, yeah, so this data set is now created. Yeah, so new data set is created here, and sorted data, and the data set name is cars n. So if you are using a by statement, based on the by statement I'm writing here, and this is the variables I'm interested, and these are the statistics I wanted to look, and this is where statement I just wanted to use a subset of the data set. I'm not interested in the whole data set. So you can see that based on my program, two different tables created here. First make by Audi and this is make by BMW. But if you're using class statements, the same program, you're using class statement, and I'm running all together, so it will be easy to distinguish between these two tables and do these two procedure basically. So this is the table created by variables, both two tables, and all the informations here for the Audi and BMW in a separate. But when you are using class statements, so this table will appear all together. So this is the main difference between the class statements and by statements In class statement, you really don't need to sort your data, but in by statement, you need to sort your data. And class statement will create a single table, whereas by statement will create two different tables. And the last thing I wanted to explain, that you can perform hypothesis testing using the proc means, but this is a simple hypothesis testing. For example, if I wanted to look for the hypothesis testing for this data set and for this variable, you have to write these options. So t-test, and this is the PRT options. So it will return to the p-value, which implies the lowest value of the significance. So let's run this program. So you will see that it will give you the p-value, and this is the p-value which is less than 0.001. So the hypothesis testing here, like population, for this is our null hypothesis, that Q1 will be equal to 0. And for example, if it is not equal to 0, then it's like we are rejecting our hypothesis. So here, like, it's not equal to 0, so we are rejecting our hypothesis, and that's why the p-value is significant here. So this is how you can use proc means for different kind of statistics. So this is the basic syntax for using the proc means, and I hope you like this video. Thank you very much for watching.